The Eagles with a dramatic come-from-behind victory yesterday. It's one of those special polarizing games. We are going to break it all down, plus Phillies, plus Bernie Perrant. We're going to break it all down live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you're watching, please, live or on replay, hit that like button. Live or on replay, please share it out. And, of course, subscribe to the STT Sports Network. Would greatly, greatly appreciate you doing that. And if you're watching on Twitter, head over to the YouTube page. This is the only place you can vote on the YouTube poll question of the day. Who was the MVP for that Eagles game in the come-from-behind victory? Options are Jordan Davis, Fred Johnson, Jalen Hurts, or A.J. Brown. I have a feeling Jordan Davis might win this poll, but the only place to vote is on the YouTube page, guys. So please like, share, subscribe. Head over to the YouTube page to place your vote. I'm Phil Stiefel with you here every single morning, and we've got lots to talk about because the Eagles had a come-from-behind 33-26 victory over the L.A. Rams yesterday. And it's one of those games that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're going to be talking about the Jordan Davis block to seal the victory, return for a touchdown. It's one of those memorable games that is going to live on in Eagles lore for decades. Down 26-7 at the half. 34 yards of total offense at the half, and then flipped the switch and became the dominant Super Bowl champions that they are in the second half. Then just so many key special plays, like toe block field goals in the same game. So much happened. It's just one of those special, bring the team together games, too. It's one of those games that can make this season something special. So we're going to talk all about that today. Obviously, the Phillies, we got 1 week left of the regular season. Playoffs are on the horizon. But Nick Castellanos with time, we are going to talk about that Friday interview in a little bit maybe. And, of course, we will spend time today remembering Flyers legend, arguably the greatest Flyer of all time. Bernie Perrant passed away this weekend at the age of 80. So thoughts and positive vibes to his family and friends. I know some of the friends of this show are very close with him, so thoughts and prayers there. Let's get right to the comments, guys. The Jordan Davis game from Stephen Fuentes. What an effing comeback by the Birds. 100%. It's like Jordan Davis's welcome to the NFL moment right there. The chase down Stafford on 3rd and 2, the tackle. The chase down of Stafford, similar to the one of Josh Allen, just Stafford's a little slower, just proves the work ethic that Jordan Davis put in is well worth it. He was in on their Carter block as well. It's so funny. He didn't need to score a touchdown there, Steven, after he blocked that field goal. But nobody was going to stop him running to the end zone there. There's no sliding down to run the clock out. That ball was getting run back, no questions asked. Jordan Davis wasn't risking that at all. What's up, Adam? Yes, we are at 655 subscribers. Slow little climb. Couple newbies this weekend. So let's continue hitting that subscribe button and tell people where they can find the #1 morning show in Philadelphia. Only show where your opinions actually matter. An all-time regular season win. Offense changed when Fred Johnson came in. We are going to dive a lot into that pivot when Lane Johnson went down. Now, conflicting reports. Lane Johnson says he'll be good to go next week. We'll see. It was a stinger. Looked much worse than a stinger. But they went to Matt Pryor originally. Matt Pryor I have the snap count up here. Let me check. Matt Pryor was out there for 15 snaps, just getting obliterated on every snap. They switched to Fred Johnson, and Fred Johnson locked that position down. pretty handily and pretty easily. That was a huge turning point in this game, was when Fred Johnson was put in at right tackle instead of Matt Pryor. So lots going on there. Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace, the great Bernie Parent. But not just a great hockey player and great goalie, but just a great person as well. Couldn't watch live, and I went back and watched and went nuts, still knowing what happened. Yeah, it's just one of those things it's one of those special memories. Where were you when Jordan Davis blocked the field goal, ran it back for a touchdown to win a key Week 3 game? I could smell Red October. I could smell Red October as well. I'm so glad the Nick Castellanos thing happened on Friday, so I had the weekend to forget about it, and I could focus on the Eagles today. Otherwise, we'd be having a deep conversation on that today. Good morning, Duck. How you doing this morning? Are you recovered yet? I'm barely recovered. Peloton needs to reach out to Jordan Davis now. Just think about that. Peloton's getting so much free publicity right now from Jordan Davis, and good publicity, too. Not negative. Great publicity. Free of charge. A.J. Brown is a beast, Adam. Absolutely. A.J. Brown won't get the credit because it'll go to Jordan Davis. Obviously, A.J. Brown doesn't have a single vote yet on our poll question yet. A.J. Brown had a dominating performance yesterday. He and Jalen Hurts got them to start getting the ball spread around. And once that happened, good things started to happen again. So A.J. Brown had a huge game yesterday. It was great to see. Phillies have 6 more games. Those will be the final 6 for Nick Castellanos. I almost went live Saturday morning, Anthony, knowing today would be Eagles-centric, just so we could talk about Nick Castellanos. So maybe later in the show we'll get into it. But yeah, Nick Castellanos did not win himself any bonus points from me this weekend. The Birds started taking what the D gave them, and they got the ball out faster. Then they ran out of passing formations. The offense changed. Now there was the video of Kevin Patullo, and I think it was Jemal Singleton on the sideline, and Jalen Hurts was like literally in their face, not yelling at them, but this is what we need, telling them what was needed. And all of a sudden, things started to get better from that moment. Something changed. Something fired them up. Something got that offense moving. Fred Johnson created the Johnson for Johnson connection. Fred Johnson should have been out there for a moment. If they would have gone to Fred Johnson in the first quarter or early in the second when Lane Johnson came out of the game, the whole outcome of the game might have changed. Because there was a lot of offensive drives stalled because of Matt Pryor missed blocks. It was really bad. I've already changed my phone wallpaper to Jordan Davis touchdown from the dagger. I don't know if it's time yet, but I mean, it's one of those special moments. And we got our first A.J. Brown vote. No votes for Fred Johnson. As expected, Jordan Davis dominating the poll right now. It's one of those moments that you will always remember. You'll remember it because you're sitting watching me watch it too. You know, we were all together as a big, happy, trending in the AM family watching the game together. But let me say, it's one of those moments that you just never forget. Is it bigger than any Super Bowl play? I don't know about that. Up-tempo offense is the key to the up-tempo offense isn't the key to a win. It was a key to unlocking the offense to get them the win last night. And I've been saying it since the middle of game 2. Where's the up-tempo? Live on the watch party during the Chiefs game, I was like, where's the up-tempo? The offense is stalled. Up-tempo, up-tempo, up-tempo. Keeps the defense on its heels, gets the offense moving and grooving. And look, they did it yesterday, and boom. Things started to happen. Great game yesterday. Was highly entertaining, unlike Ridley Scott's The Last Duel. You love to throw movies. I've not seen that one either, so I don't know. Rams absolutely wrecked. Rams Nation's got to be so furious right now. So pissed off. Probably making excuses right now. I saw one Rams person saying, or somebody in the media, maybe Rams or maybe nationally, saying, the Rams know that they can hang now. And don't worry, they'll beat the Eagles come, January. They didn't go with Johnson because he's new to the team, whereas Pryor's been here a while. Fred Johnson was here all last year. I know he wasn't here early in training camp, but Fred Johnson knows what's going on. He could have gone out there right away. Shout out to Bond for his defense yesterday. I'm a little torn on Zach Bond. Zach Bond had a great game. Had the interception. Had some big key tackles. Zach Bond also missed a couple tackles yesterday. Zach Bond was out of position a couple times as well. Maybe some of that was because the defense was gassed in the first half. But there were points that Zach Bond had great moments yesterday, but also had some questionable moments as well. Stout gave Pryor an opportunity. He did. And somebody said yesterday on the live stream that Stout is a big Pryor guy. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, I mean, Pryor failed. We'll just say that. We'll just say that Pryor failed big time yesterday. The offense totally changed after the cameras caught Jalen yelling at Patullo on the sideline. Yeah, I mean, that moment kind of, and if I got to go back and rewatch it a few more times, Anthony, but kind of looked like that Patullo wasn't happy with whatever Jalen said. Kind of had a little head cock like movement, like, fine, do it your way kind of moment there. I wonder, I mean, the Eagles organization is very keep it close to the chest, keep it in-house, not through the media. But I can't wait to see what some of the comments and conversations are in interviews and press conferences this week. You don't have to see it. It blows. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for always telling me all the bad movies, Elephant. I appreciate that. They were forced feeding the run, and I hate to say it, but this O-line leaked a little oil. Jurgens, Dickerson, and Mailata did not have a good run blocking game. Not sure if they're totally fully healthy. Well, Dickerson is hurt. He's playing hurt. He's going to play hurt all year. Jurgens did not have a good game yesterday. A couple penalties called on, missed blocks. Mailata was okay yesterday. I don't think he was as bad as some of the others, but there's definitely Landon Dickerson won't be healthy for the rest of his career probably at this point. But yes, they were forcing basic inside runs way too much in an offensive line that was leaking oil. Hopefully Saquon can get going this week versus Tampa. This just might be what the Saquon Barkley year is like. Saquon going to run for 60, 80, 90 yards here and there, and he'll have a couple of breakout games. But this year is going to be on Jalen Hurts and the passing game. And we finally got it going yesterday. So we now know that, like we already knew, but people tried to tell us that we couldn't win through the air. We now know we can win through the air. Hell, we can lead a huge comeback in the air. I hope Mr. learned an important message. What? Patullo didn't make those second half calls. I'm going to tell you now. There will be discussions today from Lori, Howie, and Sirianni. So who was calling the plays in the second half? Was Jalen Hurts straight up calling the offense on his own the entire second half? Nick Sirianni take over? The quarterback coach take over? There had to be some kind of, like we always talk about Vic Fangio adjustments at halftime, even though Vic Fangio doesn't like hearing it. Who made the offensive adjustments in the play calling? Did someone tell Patullo to do it differently? Did they just let Jalen Hurts go? This is something that is going to be a very big hot topic this week. And there's going to be a lot of questions asked. We're going to get very little information from the Eagles. It's going to have to come from inside sources, really, to get any information. I always viewed Matt Pryor more of a guard. I found it interesting that the original talk was if Landon Dickerson was going to miss time at left guard, that Pryor was going to be the guy. Well, Pryor and Brett Toth. So, yeah. I mean, Matt Pryor's got experience. He's been around the NFL with the Eagles and other teams, but, I mean, we saw he can't do it. It was good to force Hurts to have to throw, and guess what? He beat everybody with it. If I had to guess, they let Hurts go, especially with the up-tempo and RPO. Yeah, I mean, it had to be a lot of Jalen Hurts in that situation there. Good morning, Little G. Yeah, we are on to the Buccaneers. That's right. No time to celebrate the Rams victory. Right on to the Buccaneers. Truly feel Hurts took over the play calling in the second half. I mean, I vaguely still remember some plays of the of Patullo holding his hand play card, still talking to the headset. So maybe, but maybe there was a little combination there of Hurts and Patullo. The game was like the Phillies no-hitter and first MLB at bat homer from Weston Wilson. Sucks. but you know what you're going to be more impressed with. Yeah. I'm impressed with how the Eagles didn't roll over. I mean, the Eagles are Super Bowl champions. We know they're going to get back to the playoffs. We know they're going to make another run. They could have easily, at halftime, we're down 26-9. It's not going well. We could easily pack it in and just say, we'll get back to work this week and fix the problems. The Eagles did not leave a single solitary excuse on the table. They fought through and won that football game. Like, you could just see so many times we see our sports teams in Philadelphia face adversity and then just pack it in because it's the easy way to do. It's the easy thing to do. The Eagles didn't pack anything in. The Eagles said 26-9, that's nothing. We got this. The defense stepped up. The offense obviously stepped up. And here we are, 3-0 this Monday morning. First half, they were pretty arrogant. When you're that good, sometimes you do what you're good regardless. Tampa was blitzing. You mean the Rams were. Look, it would have been so easy for them to let their arrogance get in the way and then just to pack it in for the rest of the game. Sirianni was right. There's something dangerous about a team that doesn't stop fighting. Absolutely. That's literally, a better way of saying what I just said. This team doesn't stop fighting. They don't stop fighting, the Eagles. When they were down 26-7, we didn't think they were going to come back. We didn't even think they were going to try to come back. Hell, I was planning my exit to end the live stream early. Oh, if it gets to this or that, we'll just call it. Eagles defense gave up 0 second half points again. 0 second half points. They've given up 1 score through 3 games in the second half of football games. That was only the 4th time in 24 games that they gave up 20 or 4 or more points total. But we'll let that slide. I mean, we've got some negatives to get into on the defense throughout this week. We'll try to stay on the focused on the good side today, but a dangerous team never stops fighting. Hell, even you listen to Jordan Davis talk about the blocked field goal. Even though it was a chip shot for that guy, he's out there talking about how, well, we studied the launch angle of his kicks. We knew which angle he was coming from. We knew this and we knew that, and we got it done. The Eagles, in a situation that there was 99 out of 100%, 99 out of 100 times, that field goal's good, Eagles lose the game. Even in that 1%, the Eagles did not give up. And here we are, victory on a victory Monday. Phil would have been better rating if they lost. What? To be honest, I packed it in the first half. They looked like crap. But thankfully, I came back for the second half, unlike when I missed Miracle at the Meadowlands, too. You never miss. You never give up on your Eagles. You never. So many blocked kicks yesterday. There were actually quite a few blocked kicks. There's a punt return, multiple defensive touchdowns. If you were gambling on defensive and special teams touchdowns yesterday, you were making money yesterday. Baker hungry. Baker's a solid quarterback. How about the Bears beating up on the Cowboys? I mean, it doesn't make the Bears good. It just means the Cowboys suck, Adam. But yeah, good for the Bears getting their first win. Knocked the Cowboys down to 1-2. You love to see Dak Prescott benched at the end of the game. Tampa Bay will blitz tits, and they got to be ready. Well, they do. Let's enjoy this win for one day before we worry about next week. But Tampa's always had our number, just like we always have the Rams number. Tampa always has our number. So it's going to be a tough matchup, as always, down in Tampa. Eagles didn't run any RPO plays the first 2.5 games, and then suddenly run a bunch in the second half against the Rams. Looked like they went with Kellen Moore plays. It's almost like they went with Jalen Hurts and said, just do what you want. And Jalen Hurts is like, oh, cool. And he opened up that textbook in the back of his brain of the Kellen Moore offense. They're like, all right, I'm going to call some old Kellen Moore plays. You got to love it. It's fine. Stay calm. Eagles still the best. Well, we know that for sure. Shout out to Smith for making that touchdown catch on 4th and goal. It's why you pay for a second elite wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, We're going to talk about Jordan Davis all week. We're going to talk about A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Fred Johnson, Matt Pryor. Devontae Smith had a hell of a game. He took some big hits, made not just that big touchdown catch. He made a couple really, really key catches. What was his final line? He had 8 catches for 60 yards and that touchdown. So he had more catches than A.J. Brown. Not many yards, but Devontae Smith had a phenomenal game. He did make one mistake coming back and missing out on that first down on that one play, but whatever. Devontae Smith won't get enough credit for his game yesterday at all. Second half has been insane for this defense. Going back to the start of last year, honestly, Duck, this defense just does not give up points in the second half of football games. Jacorian is a little bit better than Jackson. He's able to make the tackle when the wide receiver gets the ball. Jacorian Bennett saw the field late in that football. They say Adoree Jackson had a hamstring issue, I think it was, but Jacorian Bennett was on the field for 12 plays, where Adoree Jackson was 38. So Adoree Jackson was 58%. Jacorian was 18%. But Adoree Jackson was bad. Jacorian Bennett did get away with a hold or a passive interference late in the game, but whatever. There's a lot of missed penalties and bad calls from the refs yesterday. The refs were not good yesterday, plain and simple. But Jacorian's just good enough he should be able to take over that position. You really got to think that. Eagles be like Bills down by 21. Who cares? Exactly. It don't matter. They don't pack it in ever. Hurts has Tampa Bay in his crosshairs. It's like the Rams had us circled. We've had Tampa circled. Every year we circle Tampa, right? Rodgers is killing it in Minnesota. Seriously, how he missed that? Absolutely. Interception return for a touchdown, fumble return for a touchdown, and it's costing them like $7 million to pay Isaiah Rodgers. Man, missing Isaiah Rodgers. Cowboys going to get crushed next week. Dak stinks. I don't even know who they play yet. Love me some blitz stitch. Yeah, I know. It's such a lie. Good morning, Bruce. Hope you're well this morning. Go Birds. I think they will make a statement in Tampa this week. I mean, we need to make a statement in Tampa. Can't be pissed at a loss next week. That's a good Tampa team. Absolutely. I wouldn't be pissed at it. Well, we'll get into that X's and O's later. I feel the second half we played amazing on offense and defense and special teams. Oh, we got a lot of special teams to talk about. Why nobody can catch a kick return. No one can field a kick return on this team. Tank Bigsby and John Mechie, man, just absolutely sucked back there last night. Hurts took some big hits. He did take some big hits. He's taken some big hits the last 2 games, to be honest with you. I'm concerned about Smitty's right hand on the 4th touchdown. He was shaking. He was shaking it off a little bit. But he's one tough SOB. Bennett did a decent job. He did. Outside of the missed penalty, he did great. Anyone know how Phil's predictions went? Not good this week. Last week I was great. This week, not so good. Right now I'm 6-9 this week. Not good. I haven't predicted tonight's Monday Night Football game yet. Detroit at Baltimore. Baltimore's favored in that game. Mike Evans is getting an MRI today. Yes, hamstring injury for Mike Evans, but they're expecting to get Chris Godwin back this week. So while we might dodge probably the most underrated wide receiver in football, Mike Evans, we'll have to deal with Chris Godwin. The one thing we saw yesterday, I forget the exact number, but I saw somebody report it, that Quinion Mitchell shadowed Davante Adams almost the entire game. And he didn't give up the big touchdown to Adams, which we'll talk about. But for the most part, Quinion Mitchell was able to shut down Davante Adams. So maybe we see more and more of that going forward. Maybe Quinion will be locked up with Godwin the whole game. Felt we were bad in the first half, but Nick got the team to play like the champions. They are. And that's the thing. I don't know if it was Nick, if it was Jalen, was, some combination of both. Something lit a fire under this team, Bruce. I want to say it was Jalen Hurts because there was a video floating of him not yelling at, but talking to the offense coordinator, Kevin Patullo, the other coach, Jemal Singleton. He was going at it with them. Then all of a sudden, everything got unlocked. So I don't know what it was, but something got unlocked in this team, and the league better watch out. Refs were at least even with their calls. Yeah, they missed calls on, but the Rams can't blame the refs because if they do, for every play that the Rams fan would point out, we could counter it with another. The push-off on Davante Adams pushing off on Reed Blankenship. I mean, it was Pretty obvious, right? Pretty obvious. But then there's plenty on the other way, too. The taunting call on Puka Nacua. Ridiculous. All he did was flex, not even at anybody. There were bad calls all over the field. The refs botched that one big time. So is the narrative scheduled loss. What about the scheduled loss? Scheduled loss is just a lazy narrative, and I hate it. But I love it. Clay has to get that kick return dealt with. Clay was terrible. I don't know. I saw something, but I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. Somebody was talking about how many teams were kicking the ball and having it bounce in front of the kick returner. Like, that's the new thing. So whatever, the whole change in the kick return rules, which I don't even understand half of them, was to create more kick returns. Yet kickers have gotten smart on how to kick to eliminate kick returns even more. But Bigsby bobbled one, and Mitchie botched like 5. I don't know what to do there. Yeah, Marcus Mariota won yesterday. Good for them. Commanders didn't miss a beat without their quarterback. J.J. McCarthy stinks. I don't know about that. He didn't play. Carson Wentz playing like an MVP caliber. Carson Wentz winning football games. Daniel Jones winning football games. Marcus Mariota winning football games. Think of all the former Eagles quarterbacks out there winning football games. And Daniel Jones. Love it. Morning, Doughboy. How you doing today? I'm still in shock. Unbelievable, Jordan Davis, but Fred Johnson helped change the offense and hurt time in the pocket. 100%. Nobody's voted. We got only 16 votes on the poll question today. So make sure you guys are liking this video, subscribing, sharing, but also voting on the poll. Who's the MVP for the Eagles game? Davis, Johnson, Hurts, or Brown? Fred Johnson has 0 votes, which is a shame. I mean, he's not the MVP, but he had MVP impact on the game, for sure. Yeah, I was not good this week at all. So bad. So I didn't hit one single bet yesterday either. Devontae Smith is clutch. Devontae Smith is underrated wide receiver. Puka taunting was as lame as Nolan's call. At least Nolan kind of stepped over or stepped at a player that was on the ground, Big Al. It shouldn't have been taunting, but I understand why it was. The Puka, he just went like this and went first down. Now, Reed Blankenship was off in the distance. Maybe the ref's like, oh, you're pointing first down right at him. I don't know. But it was lame. NFL is no longer National Football League. It really is adopting the no fun league narrative. Did you see the Jets coach celebrate too early? And no, I didn't. I mean, I know the Jets lost that game. I did not see the video of them. I'm guessing that's Aaron Glenn you're talking about. Did not see that. Maybe Cooper needs to be back there. Darius Cooper Dejean's a punt returner. I don't know if Cooper Dejean's ever returned kicks. No, I don't need Cooper Dejean back there returning anything. Maybe you give Darius Cooper a chance. Maybe Sidney Brown. I don't know. But man, kick returning was brutal yesterday. Carson Wentz is back, baby. That's right. Go Wentz. Hashtag Wentz is elite. What is this 8 years ago with these? Yeah, I know exactly. I mean, just think of some of the quarterbacks that won yesterday. It's just insane. It really. Aaron Rodgers winning again yesterday. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy what's going on out there. 226 in one game. Hurts is getting there. I mean, it's a really solid game. It was basically 200 in the second half. Tony is what makes sports fun. Yeah, a little energy, a little fun. Creates rivalries. As an Eagles fan, I wonder what Jalen said to Patullo because it worked. Exactly. I want to know what was said. And you know, Doughboy, 1 or 2 reporters will ask. But Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are not going to say. Campbell Patullo is not going to say. They're going to give you some generic answer. You're going to have to hope that one of these reporters gets some insider information because they're not going to say what was said. They're just going to say, oh, it was just Jalen Hurts in the passion of the game, trying to fire everybody up. They're not going to give any real answers. These taunting calls are stupid. Puka's play was not taunting, not even close. Exactly. There's a difference between taunting and celebration. And it was a clear celebration. It's kind of sad to see the state of the NFL with the taunting. I feel he was doing a crazy dance on the sideline when they scored a touchdown, and took the lead, and then Baker Mayfield won at the end. Yeah, I know all the timelines of it. I just wasn't watching it, so I haven't seen the highlight. In fact, I'm going to write it down. Jets coach celebration. There, I wrote it down, Bruce, so I could catch it if I have time later today. Well, I'll look it up. Wentz looked good. I know his stat line. That's about it. Mariota's stat line was good, too. Wentz didn't do shit. The Vikings defense was incredible. Probably was the accurate answer there. Oh, thank you. It's a Philly thing. Got at like a gas station corner vendor for like $10 like 2 years ago. I think the words, "this shit isn't working, open up the playbook and earn your salary." I mean, it might have been. That really might have been what was said. I wouldn't be shocked if that's what was said. Wouldn't be shocked if Jalen Hurts said, "Yo, stop talking in my ear. I got this. Let me handle it." Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if he's like, "Yo, I got this, coach. Don't worry. You can take the second half off." You are actually, in the letter of the law, you are allowed to spin the ball. You're just not allowed to spin it towards somebody. So maybe someone was on the ground near where he spun the ball. Yeah, who decided? We babies? Exactly. It's the no fun league, Mad Chatter. It's the, it's the, how do you want to say it? The no fun league, the participation trophy era where we can't really celebrate wins. I got in trouble once. I was playing chess or checkers or tic-tac-toe with one of my young nieces at the time. And I won because I teach them you got to win. I don't just let them win. I'm like, yeah, champion of the world. And my niece started crying. And I got yelled at by my sister because you can't celebrate victories. I'm like, yes, you can. That's what you do. You teach victories. You do. You teach how to overcome when you lose. But as the owl says, we will never know. We will never know. We'll never know about a lot of things. But anyway, so many big moments in that game. And Jordan Davis, rightfully so, will get all the credit for the blocked field goal. But if you take the blocked field goal out of the equation, Jordan Davis still had a massively impressive game. Jordan Davis dominated in run defense. He dominated in pass rushing. Jordan Davis, where's my defensive snap counts? Jordan Davis played 68% of the snaps, 45 snaps. Jordan Davis himself said, there's no way he's running that. He's having that kind of game in his old form, his old body formation. Jordan Davis is the perfect epitome of what a guy realizes he needs to put the work in to become great. He can settle to be good. He can get paid to be good, but not wanting to settle to be good. Wanting to put the work in to be great. That is Jordan Davis is the poster child of a guy wanting to be great and not be content with being good. And you love to see that. The chase down of Matthew Stafford, which I think anybody could chase down Matthew Stafford. They clocked him on the punt return or the blocked field goal return. Over 18 miles an hour that boy was running. The fastest ever recorded run time for somebody over 300 pounds in NFL history. I don't know how long they've been tracking that, but whatever. He wants that money. He does want that money. That is for sure. I mean, they got his fifth-year option, so we know that. But I don't know after that. I have no idea what this means, Nooms. Don't know what any of those numbers and letters mean. I think you might have had a little error there on your screen. But Jordan Davis had an amazing, amazing performance throughout the entirety of the game. He has doubled up his number of snaps this year. He's a little under Carter and over Ajomo. Yeah, look, Ajomo's played well too. Carter played better yesterday after, Vic Fangio criticized him being out of shape this past week. Jalen Carter played better. He did get called for a unsportsmanlike penalty, too, for a little taunting. And that was, he was pointing and shouting or whatever. But Jordan Davis is just, phone was in your pocket. Likely excuse. Jordan Davis put the work in. If Jordan Davis could stay at 65% snaps all year long and play at this level all year long, this is going to go down as the best defense in football. Yeah, I mean, you still get celebrations after touchdowns. You still get celebrations after interceptions and stuff and fumble recoveries. But players are so scared to celebrate because the slightest celebration wrong screws everything up. Gets a penalty all the time. Good morning. Go Birds, Aunt Romas. How you doing today? Hope you are well. Make sure you join the YouTube page, too. It's pinned somewhere on my profile there. And subscribe, because then you can vote on the poll question of the day. And if you go to the YouTube page, who was the MVP of the game yesterday? As expected, Jordan Davis is at 62%. Jalen Hurts, 31%. A.J. Brown, 6% right now. And Fred Johnson, unfortunately, still a 0% vote. Somebody got to go vote for Fred Johnson. Stafford was not good. He could barely move, plus he missed several wide open. I think that's a big part of the game yesterday as well. There is luck involved in that kind of a comeback. There is luck in victory for both teams always. Matthew Stafford was not good yesterday. I don't know. Hold on. What was his final number? 19 of 33. What's that? That's like 58, 60% probably. Matthew Stafford overthrew at least a half a dozen guys yesterday. The game changes if Matthew Stafford doesn't overthrow all those guys. So somebody voted for Fred Johnson. Thank you. Whoever it is, thank you. I just want to see Fred Johnson give one vote. That's all I needed. Celebrations after big plays, they make sure they run to the end zone and do it in the cameras and the crowds. Yeah. Again, like I said, it has become the no fun football league. It is. It's a shame. Now, despite Jordan Davis playing well yesterday, despite all that, there is a concern on the defense, and the concern on the defense is the running attack. I mean, Kyron Williams, 20 rushes for 94 yards. Blake Corum, 8 for 53. So 28 runs for 147 yards for their two running backs. Over 5 yards per carry for their two running backs. The run defense, Vic Fangio is going to have to figure out the run defense. We're going up against the Bucs. I don't know how their run game is this year, but Bucky Irvin and Rashid White, two very good running backs right there. A disciplined team that doesn't mind running the football. You cannot go into next week's game in Tampa giving up runs like that. Only 30. There have been over 20 people watching multiple times. We got 18 votes on the poll question, only 13 likes so far. Guys, like, share, subscribe, help a brother out. The National Flag Football League. Yeah, I mean, we're going to just become flag football at some point, right? No fun. No fun at all. Now, there are missed calls and it's almost like the refs are focused on the wrong things. The refs are looking for taunting calls. They're looking for unsportsmanlike calls. Instead of looking at the plays in front of them, which clearly tell you there's holding here, offsides there, false start there. There was a missed false start on a tush push. Yes. There was a false start called on a tush push. I don't know if you guys saw it. The Saints ran a tush push yesterday in their game when they got blown out in their game. Spencer Rattler tried to run it, but somebody jumped on the offensive line of the Saints. And in turn, they threw the flag, and there was a false start in that game on the tush push. Rams fans better not be talking shit. We only won because of a bad false start or missed false start on a tush push. That's not why they lost. There were missed calls all over that game yesterday. What's up, Mitchie Poo? We're talking about the No Fun League. It's no longer the National Football League, the No Fun League. Saints are not marching in this season. The Saints are bad. Well, I don't even know what the final score of that game was. It was a blowout at one point. I got to pull up the full scoreboard here for the NFL yesterday. The Saints game. What was the final score there? 44-13 was the final score of that game. Damn. That was bad. 44-13. Holy shit. They got smoked. I bet you Kellen Moore's missing here. Panthers shut out the Falcons 30-0. Michael Penix benched for Kirk Cousins. Surprised they didn't call a penalty on the tush push. I'm just surprised too, yeah. Rams have fans, yeah. Rams fans are making excuses. I got something funny on the Rams. All right, we gained one more, 656. Mitchie Poo, we're 3 away from your number. Guys, like, share, subscribe, please. Keep on moving on up, right? Moore is second-guessing his choice now. Absolutely. Absolutely, Kellen Moore is a second-guessing it. And I feel bad for him. He wanted his chance to coach. He got it. And he just happened to get it with an organization that's going to take 3 to 5 years to flip it. I'm sorry. Math was never my strong point, Mitchie Poo. Yes, 13, not 3. Whatever. My bad. There was so much good. I want to throw this out there, too. All the people that say that Jordan Love and the Packers are better than Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. There better not be one person that has Jordan Love ahead of Jalen Hurts. There better not be one power ranking that has the Packers ahead of the Eagles. When you lose to the Cleveland stinking Browns, you're not a good football team. You should have stayed. The offense would have been started a lot better this year. Yes, the offense would have started a lot fresher this year. There would have been more cohesion, more of all that stuff, Adam. Absolutely. And it's a damn shame that the Eagles didn't find a way to just give them head coaching money to stick around, to hang around. But you make your bed and you lie in it. Every coach wants a chance to be a head coach. Kellen Moore got his chance. He took it. It's probably not going to work out for him. Unless the Saints give him 3 to 5 years to find a quarterback of his choice, really develop that team. It's a first-time head coaches get a very short leash. And he'll get this year, but my guess is he'd be fired by the end of next year, unless they turn it around. Danny Dimes is looking like a Hall of Fame quarterback these last 3 weeks. Was he what Steichen needed to get Indy over the top? Was Indy and Steichen what Danny Dimes needed to get over the top? How about we look at it both ways there, Duck? We all knew Anthony Richardson wasn't a good quarterback. But we all thought Daniel Dimes was not. And again, it's not Daniel Dimes anymore. It's Indiana Jones. Okay? You got to use his nickname has changed this year. What's up, mister? My conspiracy theory is that Jalen Hurts isn't calling plays that get Saquon yards because he visited Trump when the rest of the team did not. Oh, my God. You think Moore would come back to the Eagles if Patullo doesn't work out? No, not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Because for this to work out, Patullo would have to be here all this year and into next year, Adam. Because Kellen Moore ain't getting fired from the Saints this year. Okay? McDaniels might get fired this year. I thought Steichen would. That's not going to happen. You're going to see Ryans down in Houston get fired pretty soon if he don't turn it around. Nola is going to be in cap hell for the next 3 seasons. I knew they were in massive cap hell this year and maybe next year. It might be 3 years. Maybe I don't remember that accurately, but you're right, Duck. It's going to take a lot of work to turn that organization around. I need an Indiana Jones shirt. I do. Wow, why would you say this to me, Mitchie Poo? Because once I think I'm out, the Sixers, they pull me back in. I think you can hide Kevin Patullo's problems. You can't hide Nick Nurse's problems. So give me Kevin Patullo over Nick Nurse. Look at who the Giants have hired lately. Pat Shurmur. He's still alive, Pat Shurmur. Ben McAdoo. Mara's besides. So New York sports is. Yeah, I feel bad for the owner. The owner's got to make some big changes. Obviously, got to make some big changes there in New York, and they will soon. Dable will be fired soon. McDaniels is going to be a cheerleader once he's fired. I know that's such a great thing. I was hoping Steichen would get fired. Well, the Steichen ain't getting fired after a 3-0 start with Indiana Jones there, Keith. And good morning to you, Keith. Good to see you this morning. It's going to be Dable. It's going to be McDaniels. They're going to be your first head coaches fired, for sure. Delaware Ave will always be, no matter what they want to call it otherwise. Danny Dimes will always be Daniel Dimes. Okay. All right. All right. I guess so. Nurse is terrible. I know he is. We're on the precipice of Sixers training camp starting here in a few weeks. We're only like a month away from the season starting. There will be some Sixers talk that we'll start dabbling in the next couple of weeks for sure. The more and more we see of Joel Embiid, and I want to throw something out here. All right, I will give you guys one Sixers nugget today. If you look, they keep showing these little short clips and pictures of Joel Embiid working out with the team, right? But you notice something. All the other guys have their scrimmage jerseys on. Joel Embiid has a black T-shirt on. So they're just teasing us that Joel Embiid might play. But when they're practicing and run the court together as a team, Joel Embiid ain't doing that. So I don't think Joel Embiid is as healthy as the Sixers want us to believe he is. They're making us believe he's healthy so somebody buys a ticket to maybe go see Joel Embiid, not realizing that Joel Embiid ain't going to play. Just throwing that little conspiracy theory out there. McVay is a kitty cat. You know, I saw McVay's coaching record, and he's got one of the best coaching records of the last 15, 20 years of all head coaches, winning percentage-wise. He's got a Super Bowl to back it up. 2 Super Bowl appearances. But yet Sean McVay is 1-6 versus the Eagles. Just think about that. Mitchie Poo made a Sixers joke, so I'm going to throw a Sixers joke. No, the Sixers are back to the back burner for another couple weeks, Marshawn. But don't tell me I'm not wrong for my theory that they're just trying to squeeze some more money out of the fan base. The Rams could have won by a tune? What? I don't get that one. Nothing angers me more than shit basketball, which is all the Sixers play. That's why we're moving back on. Mitchie Poo ruined it. He brought the Sixers into the conversation. I made one Sixers joke. That's right. Joshua does need the money. Keep funding that new stadium he's going to open in D.C. for the Commanders, right? Got a quarterback controversy in Washington. You know, with Marcus Mariota and Jaden Daniels right now. Is that a conspiracy theory? That is exactly what the Sixers. Exactly. It is media week. Day is this week. Maybe I'll do a special. I don't want to waste trending in the AM time talking Sixers. So maybe after media day, I'll do a special Sixers media day recap. Okay, we'll do that at night one day. Rams could have won by a lot if McVay wasn't a kitty cat in the red zone. Could have won by a lot. Okay, look, the Rams could have won if a lot of things went their way. But that's the difference between a championship team, Eagles, and a really good team, the Rams. Just think about it this way. Instead of thinking what the Rams could have won, the Eagles could have easily rolled over and played dead after halftime. Could have said, you know what? Today's not our day. This is not our week. We can take this loss on the chin. We got the Super Bowl trophy. We'll win. We'll get to. They could have easily packed it in and moved on. But they didn't. They never gave up. The Rams packed it in and assumed they had one. Difference between coaching and players and mindsets. Winning football games at an elite level isn't just on talent. It's mental as well. And there's a huge difference between what the Rams are mentally and team-wise versus the Eagles. Yes, exactly, Big Al. Rams have the same amount of Super Bowls as you, okay? We're the defending champs, okay? I'm not taking anything away from the Rams franchise overall. I'm talking about right now, okay? Rams would have won, but they didn't. There are 2 halves of football for a reason. Go Birds. Exactly. The Eagles didn't give up. The Rams kind of said, go, we got this one. They let off the pedal. Dante is right. Dante's always right. Guys, there's 28 people in the YouTube room. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, share button, vote on the poll question, please. Hit those buttons. We got a lot of people tuning in right now. Bring your thoughts on the Eagles-Rams game. Drop your thoughts on everything else happening in football, the Phillies. And of course, I want to spend a few minutes at the end of the show talking about Bernie Perrant as well. We need Britton Covey back on punt and kick returns. Can Covey return kicks? We know he can return, but Dotson's done fine on punt returns. Kick returns, Anthony, is a major Major problem. Bigsby and Mechie are terrible. Terrible back there right now. Feel like how the NFL does not want being saying in your face during a heartbreaking loss to opponents. Yeah, no fun league. They don't want anybody having fun out there, the NFL. Did you notice Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis rocking Jarrett versus $100,000 gold chain after the game? Kind of like that. Little rivalry. You know, they get fired up and passionate on the field, but they are kind of not friendly, but they get along, and they had a little rivalry that if the Eagles beat the Rams, we would get Jarrett versus chain. And if the Rams beat us, Jalen Carter's chain would have gone to Jarrett verse. And I love that little side bet going on between two elite defensive linemen. The verse Carter versus, Davis kind of rivalry that's blooming. I thought that was such a cool little side thing that I didn't know about. And even if the Eagles lost and Verse was rocking our gold chain, I would have thought that was cool. Because they're trying to make it the no fun football league now. That is hero football. No villains keep fighting. I did say, are the Eagles the villains? Villains don't keep fighting until the end like that. I'm sure Versus gets his chain back someday. I'm sure he does. I think the league is not as scared of the Eagles as put forward in the offseason. This year's Eagles looking a lot like last year's Chiefs, winning games by luck. It's not going to last. I don't know if I would say last week was by luck or yesterday was by luck. It was a team that fought harder than the other. Did they get a little lucky this year through 3 games at points? Possibly. I'd rather be lucky than not. Okay? And I still think the league might not have been as scared like you're saying there, but I think in that second half, the league took notice of like, shit. They are still a really damn good football team. Again, Eagles defense did not give up a single point in the second half. They've only given up 1 score in the second half through 3 weeks of this season. And I'm not docking the Rams. I still think the Rams win their division. I still think the Rams are going to be we're probably going to face them in January. I'm almost guaranteeing that. People keep saying if the Rams went for the 4th down in the red zone, they would have won. But they have needed to convert. The Eagles defense stopped them on 3rd down. I think it was 3. They only converted 3 of 10 or 3 and 11 3rd downs. They were 0-4 on 4th downs. Our defense bends, doesn't break very, very well. Very, very well. I like players not liking each other narratives, even if it's Yeah, exactly. Throw that little wrestling term in there. Verse played a more disciplined game this time around. Yeah, Jared Verse was good. Absolutely. And our offensive line was beat plenty of times. Are Chiefs in trouble or just 2 hurt wide receivers? I don't know. On that one, man, Chatter. Noah looks a little chubby out there, like he was sweating out tasty cake crimpets on the mound. Yeah, I didn't watch any Phillies baseball this weekend. I won't lie. Yesterday was the spark that might get this Eagles offense engine started. You like to think it is. You hope it is. We will see. Time will tell. Back-to-back blocked field goals is lucky. Or if you listen to Jordan Davis after the game, they had studied and figured out how to block that specific kicker's kicks. So while there is some luck in blocking a field goal, a little timing luck there, they had it read. Anyone making any assertions about any team after 3 weeks of regular preseason football? Exactly. The season doesn't start till week 5. Anything else is overreactions. Rams fans feeling themselves, even Matt Ryan said the Rams are just as good. He said just as good, if not better. That's who I was talking about earlier in the show. It was Matt Ryan saying that the Rams are still the better team, basically. Get that BS out of here. That's Matt Ryan not wanting to give any credit to the Eagles. Blatant bias there from a national media person. How bad is Lane Johnson injury? Is the old man contemplating? He's not it looked serious on the sideline, on Sunday. Lane Johnson's injury, he looked hurting. They're saying it was just a neck stinger. He claimed after the game that he'll be out there next week. That's a bold thing to say minutes after the game ended. We're going to have to wait and see. Wednesday's practice report will be telling. I don't get where Castellanos is coming from. Kind of reminds me of that scene from Napoleon where just, haven't seen Napoleon. Castellanos, that whole situation on Friday, I'm glad it was Friday and not yesterday because I could just kind of ignore it to an extent. Elephant in the room, kind of move on from it. The questions were fair, in my opinion, from the media. I think Nick Castellanos could have answered it better, but I get his frustration. It is what it is. Castellanos ain't going to be on the field much in the playoffs. Where's Monster World? I bet he's a Cowboys fan. He might be a Cowboys fan. He might be a Rams fan. I don't know. All that I have sacrificed for you, I lost my mind at that point. Verse got lambasted by Fred Johnson repeatedly. I mean, the game turned when Fred Johnson replaced Matt Pryor. That was a key part of the offense turning it around. A major key part was Fred Johnson going out there. And you know what? Give credit to Howie Roseman bringing him in 3.5 weeks ago. Fixing that wrong. I think we might have broken 3 NFL teams. Dallas thought they were getting a good season started. Dead. KC thought they were getting going. They keep failing. Rams wanted revenge. We just break you. I will break you. Absolutely. I couldn't even find where the injury happened. I mean, the last play he played was the tush-push touchdown. But he looked fine on that play. He walked off. He celebrated with the team. I don't know. Rams wanted revenge. We all know how that ended. Exactly. All that preparation and the plan failed. Yeah. I mean, you can prep all you want. You got to execute the plan too. And you got to execute the plan till the end, right? The Rams had a plan to beat the Eagles. And they executed it to perfection for 30 minutes. The problem is, a football game isn't 30 minutes long, it's 60 minutes long. So let's give the Eagles credit for playing a full 60-minute game, not giving up at a moment's notice, not giving up at the first sign of trouble. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to give them credit. The Rams, they quit. They packed it up, packed it in. These offensive slow starts are because of the OC turnover. They continuously have 3-0 after playing 3 good teams. Ain't bad. And how much of it was, that? Was a slow start, really bad play calling? Or is it still just them working out the kinks? I always said the first 4 to 5 weeks this year was going to be difficult. The Broncos don't look quite as good as I thought, but Tampa does, so we'll struggle there. I said 3-2. We're not going to lose the next 2 games probably, but when we come out of that Broncos game, then we can really, truly start grading the offense maybe. Maybe Patullo is not as bad. I mean, we're going to say he is right now, but it's still the preseason. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And then you got to respond, right? Don't listen to the mad chatter. They are mad, yeah. Where's that Cowboys fan from week 1? Yeah, they come, and then they go. That's why my subscriber count always goes up and then comes back down. Jarrett Verse's name is on brand. All he does is talk. I mean, Jarrett Verse does back his talk up pretty well. Jarrett Verse is a damn good pass rusher. And young at that. He's going to look great in midnight green in a couple of years, right? When Howie eventually finds a way to steal him away from the Rams. What is the mantra of the U.S. Special Forces? Adapt and overcome. I love that. And that just gave me a great idea. I mean, Nick Sirianni needs to bring in some Special Forces people to hype this team up during practice one day. Maybe in training camp next year, maybe during the bye week. Bring in some Special Forces trainers and get them to go through that. Jordan Davis hit 19. It was like 18.8 or something like that, so not quite 19. You're rounding up. 18-wheeler flying down the turnpike. Yeah, they for the 4-wheelers or for the 18-wheelers going down the highway, they got those little emergency ramps to slow them down when they lose control. Nothing was slowing down Jordan Davis on that run. Jalen Hurts said, ball up top after the fumble. Jalen Hurts said, yo, guys, it's time to nut up or shut up. And guess what? Everybody nutted up. What is the mantra of the Cowboys? It's our year. It's always our year for the Cowboys, right? The Cowboys are probably crying about who their starting quarterback is going to be next week. I know they benched Dak because it was just a blowout, but there'll be some media people that'll say, that they need to make a quarterback change in Dallas. How many fantasy managers benched AJ before yesterday? I listened to Phil and kept him in. I knew somebody asked me about that, kid. I told whoever, you do not bench AJ Brown. I had AJ Brown, and I did one DFS single entry lineup yesterday, and I had AJ Brown in it, and I cashed in it. You can't give up on AJ Brown. You just can't. Feels like they're learning a little faster. Feels like frustration points would have resulted in a loss or two already last year. Yeah, let's not forget that. We were 2-2 to start the year last year. We had just as many offense and defensive hiccups, if not more, last year. This team knows how to win and knows that they can win. Why does the Rams jersey look like the Eagles throwback jerseys from the 40s? You're talking about the yellow and blue? I don't know about that. They need to continue to feed AJ. I mean, it's kind of, mind-blowing. You get the ball to your best player's hands, good things happen. Wow, shocking revelation there, Elephant. As soon as they started feeding him the ball, good things happen. Even Saquon had a couple good runs. He had some read options that were successful. Jalen had a quarterback draw that was good. All of a sudden, you get A.J. Brown the ball, the rest of the defense now has to account for that. He was set. Jalen Hurts yesterday, his passing chart was great. But Jalen Hurts was 7 for 9 on throws of 10 yards or further, 10 air yards or longer. Again, Jalen Hurts can do it. The plays have to be there. The plays have to be called. The confidence be given in Jalen and AJ to do their thing. You can't have the training wheels on. I feel awful for people that had bet big on LA yesterday. You've basically got the game in the bag. Yeah. It's funny because Jordan Davis could have just slid down after the blocked field goal, but you weren't stopping him from getting his first touchdown. Jordan Davis lays down, the Rams cover. Jordan Davis scores, the Rams don't cover. I love the gambling aspect of that. The gambling aspect of yesterday's Eagles game is what makes gambling so heartbreakingly awesome. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's right. I think Hurts got 23 flashbacks and said to himself, and Patullo, not again. Get your shit together or I will get it together for you. I mean, I would love to have been a fly on that bench and know exactly, because like I said, unless somebody leaks it to a media member, we will never know what was actually said there. And I want to know so bad what was said there. So bad I want to know it. But we're never gonna find that out. Have a great day. It's good to see you today, Big Al. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Birds. Red October, 1 week away. You gotta love it. There's a lip readers going through that stuff. There better be. There better be. And if you go back and you rewatch it, Duck, and I've only seen it twice, so I got to go watch it 4 more times. Patullo didn't look too happy or content with what Jalen was saying. He looked frustrated with whatever Jalen said. He looked very frustrated with it. Mets are on the outside looking in. Mets might not even make the playoffs. Good for them sweeping us, though, right in New York like a month ago. I mean, they got their big moment right there. Look, there's plenty of negative to think about. There's not negative. There's plenty of things the Eagles team needs to improve upon going into next week and the rest of this season. Absolutely. But when you have, I can make a list, a top 10 list of things the Eagles need to improve upon. Because there's plenty of things that they're not doing well. But we've now, with not playing a complete game, without playing well in any game, we've beaten 2 or, depending on who you talk to, 3 playoff teams. 2 teams that had Super Bowl aspirations without playing a complete game. So as long as this team keeps getting better, the wins are going to keep coming. It just shows the mindset, mentality, the mental aspect that it takes to win. This Eagles team does that so well. Andy Reid looked like he wanted to stab Kelsey in the face yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch much of that game either last night. I mean, it was 22-9, I think was the final score. But the parts I watched, the Chiefs still didn't look that good. The Chiefs might need to make some trades here, but look, the Chiefs are just what they are. What's happening, Dominique? To have a league top schedule, we're in good spot, especially with a new OC and Howie letting Rodgers walk. I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. Like I said it since day one when the schedule was released, Dominic. This is a difficult first 5 weeks. I said we'd be lucky to go 3-2 with the new offense coordinator, with the 5 or 6 new pieces on defense, not just Rodgers. You let Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, so many guys go. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You got Isaiah Rodgers, a black hole in the secondary there. You've got, some questionable injuries on the offensive line. The offense ain't moving with Kevin Patullo through 10 quarters of football. And we're still 3-0 because this team is led so well that nobody can stop them. You got to play a full, complete 60 minutes to beat this Eagles team. They got into it on the sideline last night, did they? Tay-Tay isn't going to be happy with that. Someone goes after her man. She's gonna have to write a song about Andy Reid then. I am thinking that Giants defense is real. Thankfully, the offense is the offense. I mean, we knew the Giants defense was going to take a step forward. When you add Carter to Burns and whatnot, especially the front four on that defense of the Giants, it's great. Good for them. Looking forward to, week 7, week 8 when we play them? And we're not getting the same ref help the Chiefs got for years. We are not. I mean, the refs were bad yesterday. I won't lie. We got away with a few missed calls. But so did the Rams get away with a bunch of missed calls as well. Seems like officiating is just getting worse and worse in all sports at this point. Because officiating isn't a neutral thing. Officiating is dictate how to, the league sends out memos on how we want you to officiate games and teams. They want you to focus on certain things. Officiating should not get memos from the league. And if they do, it should be kept quiet. I don't think enough is made into that. The league sends a memos to the officials. I want you to officiate the tush-push, more focus on it. I want you to call penalties on certain plays. Let's be honest. There's a penalty on every single play in every NFL game. But refs have to let some things go, some things not go. We want you to officiate X, Y, and Z more than A, B, and C. The fact that memos are sent out for that is a major underrated issue on why officiating is so bad. Because officials are told, here's the agenda. And then what happens? 20 likes. I mean, we've been at 28, 29, 30 viewers on this show. So there should be more than 20 likes. If you haven't liked this, please. If you haven't yet, please share. And of course, subscribe and vote on our poll question, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're coming to the final 20 minutes of the show here. So tired of this super slow-mo tush-push to prove a false start, but never do it while. Exactly. It's a lot harder to see a false start or an offsides because just like there's a false start on all these tush pushes, Dominic, there's also defensive players lined up in the neutral zone on every single one as well, right? It's not like the defense is free. There was, I don't know if it was a tush push. I think it was a tush push. That Jarrett Verse, while everybody was lining up, smacked Jalen Hurts or one of the linemen in the head. He just tapped him on the helmet. Is that not illegal? It's kind of crazy. Of course, you could see every penalty in slow motion. I could see in slow motion, well, I could see it in regular speed too, that Devontae Adams pushed Reed Blankenship back 3 yards before he caught that touchdown. I didn't need slow motion for that. Did you tell me slow motion couldn't show that? They never re-showed that much. A.J. Brown did not get called because his elbow stayed bent on the touchdown. Absolutely. I agree that the A.J. Brown one was cleaner than the Devontae Adams one. But there are plenty of opportunities to call Eagles for penalties in that game, and they didn't. But officials are so pre-focused and preoccupied with what the memo from the league told them to do versus just calling the game. The officials, does the league pay the officials? Like who is in charge of the officials? The officials should be an independent, operated kind of thing to an extent. The league should not be able to send referees, officials like memos on how they want things to happen. Their season has lost. Giants need to start. Dart. Scatterbo, he had a good game yesterday. Russell Wilson sucks. Look, I mean, nobody expected the Giants to be much. I expected some slight improvement because of the defense. I expected Brian Dable to get fired. But yeah, the Giants aren't that great. Jerry Jones is paying the refs, right? I mean, somebody is. The same reason Jordan didn't get called for pushing Byron Russell. Yeah, I mean, there's that. I mean, he definitely extended his arm on that one, big time. Adams full extension, AJ touchdown. Now we have quarterback flopping for flags. That was very Steph Curry flop-esque on the Rams cornerback. The horrible officiating, soft rules about to make flopping and flag baiting a skill set. It's getting scarily close to the NBA, Dominic, for sure. Do you like Dominic or do you like to go by Dom? I feel weird saying Dominic. My nephew's a Dominic, but I always could just call him Dom. The league can't even define what a catch is. I mean, I think that the Puka catch was a catch that got overturned to become a catch. Eagles kick returners or Kyle Lowry. I don't know. The Eagles kick returners, Mitchie Poo, are pretty damn bad. They muffed 6, I think I counted kick returns. It's bad. Yes, I posted about that on Blue Sky when it happened, Phil. First absolutely made illegal. He definitely tapped on somebody's head, right? I didn't just imagine that, right? I had 550, 600 comments yesterday during the live stream, watching the game. I missed a few things here, but I saw a tap on the helmet. Byron Russell not getting that call. Of course he's not getting it, but it should have been called. Dom, Neek either. Dom or Neek. We'll go Dom. Dom is right to me. Dom just is easier for me. But I like to call people what they like to be called. I like to be called asshole. Mitchie and Bigsby are a waste of draft capital. Yeah, we haven't done it. We haven't seen anything. Mitchie has caught a couple passes in offense. They haven't really gone anywhere. But, man, how can you botch that many kick returns, Marshawn? And I think Bigsby only botched one. But Mitchie? And what is up with the kick returns? A lot of these kickers are just trying to get it to the 10-yard line and then let it bounce. Well, let's just start lining our kick returners up a little closer, right? Why in the world was Puka catch even called incomplete to begin with? Yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't have needed to be challenged to begin with. That is for sure, Noon. That was a bad. They called it a catch, then they overturned it to incomplete, then they challenged it and made it a completion. In real time, I saw that was a catch. The league pays the officials. The league sends memos and train them preseason. The teams pay the leagues for refs during the offseason usage story. Okay. All right. So that's how it works. Well, I kind of think the refs kind of have to be their own individual thing, right? Where they can't be influenced by the league. Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't it make sense to make the league not have any direct influence over the officials? It should be an impartial, independent system. Ben Simmons for the Eagles kick returners. I'll take the kick returners. I don't want Ben Simmons ever. I don't think Ben Simmons plays basketball this year. He's not playing. Ben Simmons has got much chance to play football as he does basketball this upcoming year. Anyway. Speaking of Simmons, it made me think of the safety room because Justin Simmons and the safety room. Saw a lot more of Sidney Brown than I expected. Sidney Brown did not play good yesterday. He played 20 snaps to Drew Makuba's 49. Just kind of surprised that they had him out there that much yesterday. No, because the league makes the rules and need to make sure they are calling the new rules and understand them to call them. You can, I don't know. I don't know. Adoree Jackson or Kyle Lowry. I'll still take Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson was bad, but Kyle Lowry sucks. Bengals would be fine without Burrow. Yeah, right. I actually thought the Bengals would win that game. I thought Browning would be better than Wentz, but I guess it was the Vikings defense that carried them there. Mechie and Dotson wide receiver usage isn't a skill issue, rather franchise issue. Our last slot wide receiver we used was Aggie in 17. Well, Mechie, I'm only criticizing Mechie for he's put back there to return kicks, and he did not field a single kick cleanly yesterday. Every single one he botched. I wouldn't expect him to have more than 8 catches this entire season. He's got 2 in 3 games, I believe. I wouldn't expect him to have 8 this year. But he's got to be better at returning kicks. At least Dotson, when he's back there punt returning, he's fielding the punts cleanly. Brown was not good. He was Johnny on the spot, but he can't wrap up them. There was one play. He ran up to crash the line of scrimmage, or maybe it was a tight end or a running back. He ran up to crash, and he's whiffed big time, which is classic Sidney Brown. You see Sidney Brown coming, all you got to do is stutter step, and the guy's going to slide right by you. So I'm not sure why he was used so much yesterday. Goddard only had 1 catch for a touchdown. Goddard still might not be 100%, Mitchie Poo. I mean, let's be honest. He had a knee sprain. He missed last week. Came right back this week. I wonder if he came back so quickly because we just know how bad Graham Calcaterra is. So that's fine. And it was a touchdown. And it was a big touchdown. And it kind of opened up the floodgates. That Dallas Goedert touchdown started the opening the floodgates that got us to the big comeback. That was the first touchdown in the second half, right? It was 26-7. He scored 26-14, right? I'm almost positive that was the first one. But I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas Goedert was only playing at like 80% yesterday. Even on that touchdown catch, it's not like he had to have this big play. He just ran a basic route across the middle, and he was just wide open. And Jalen Hurts just laid it right on him. I don't even think it looked like he was running full speed. And that's fine. That's fine. Real quick, I do got to give a prediction for Monday Night Football. Detroit Lions, 1-1 at 1-1 Baltimore Ravens tonight in Baltimore. Baltimore is a 4.5-point favorite the last I checked. I'm taking Detroit to cover tonight. There's a chance Detroit wins that game, but I'm going to take Detroit to cover. Let's say Baltimore wins. I'm going to say Baltimore wins 33-30 tonight on Monday Night Football. It's hell of a matchup for Monday Night Football. I might even watch some of it tonight. We'll see. I'll think about it. Depends on how my day goes. Anyway, we're coming to the final 10 minutes here. Kind of try to make this whole thing go full circle here. Obviously, it was a huge Eagles win. Was there negatives? Yes. Will we break down the negatives? Absolutely. All week long. But it was a huge win. It was a confidence win. It was a win that proves what the Eagles do best, and that's play a full 60 minutes. It proves that not only are the Eagles a super talented football team, that they've got the mental side that's required to win in the NFL. And that is the big takeaway. Jordan Davis, amazing game. Fred Johnson, great job. Jalen Hurts, MVP performance. A.J. Brown, welcome to the year. But there's lots to dive into throughout this week. More specifics as we go. A tad late to the show, but that's right, Chet. Every Victory Monday is a great Victory Monday. Absolutely. Hell no, I did not watch 1 second of it. I am not paying for ESPN Unlimited so I can watch it. So I haven't watched any wrestling in the last month or two. No point to it anymore. I think we finally beat the Bucks in Tampa Bay. It will be close, but we will get the win. We'll start thinking about that as the day goes on for sure, Adam, and as the week goes on. It's going to be a tough game. The Eagles aren't going to go 17-0. They're going to lose at some point. I thought the Bucks would be the win this year, and the Rams would. Hold on, what did I have before the season started? What were my losses? I had 2 losses early in the season. I had KC and Denver. Denver doesn't look quite as good, So maybe next week is a loss. I don't know. We'll think about it. I was on the kick return team in high school. That was a wedge blocker. The kicked it directly to me. I picked it up, tried to run, and they took out my legs. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, but you just got to catch the football first. You were able to catch the football, right? For some reason, it's difficult for Mechie and Bigsby to catch or pick up the bouncing ball. It can't be that hard. I saw a highlight from a college game this weekend. Don't know which game. I didn't watch any of it, but I saw a replay on Twitter. It was of a botched play somehow, but the ball just kept bouncing. I think they ended up with like 3rd and 93 for 3rd down because so many people tried to pick up a bouncing ball, and it kept just bouncing further and further backwards. Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to pick a football up? Like, it seems like it should be so much easier. But for some reason, it's not. And I don't get it. Real quick, I do want to close the show real quick. Obviously, we only got about 6 minutes left. A Flyers legend, arguably one of the greatest Flyers of all time, definitely the greatest Flyer goalie of all time, arguably with Bobby Clark, whether he's the greatest Flyer of all time, passed away this weekend at the age of 80. And I've had the opportunity to meet Bernie Parent a few times. And not just like in like an autograph signing, picture taking, like formal setting. And I've heard so many great stories about how Bernie Parent was just such a kind, great human being. Obviously, the last great goalie the only great goalie the Flyers ever had. I remember I was at a Flyers game. People don't realize this because I don't talk much hockey, but I've been to more Flyers games than Eagles and Sixers games combined in my life. I've probably been to 40 or 50 Flyers games in my life. Not in recently, but I got to a lot of Flyers games. I was at a Flyers game, and I was just at, I think it was in the gift shop or whatever, the skate zone or wherever they sell jerseys and hats and stuff. And I'm just walking around, just perusing to in between periods, and I see a guy. And I'm like, I look at my buddy, I'm like, yo, that's Bernie Parent over there. And he was with a little girl. It turned out it was his granddaughter. And he just looked at me, smiled, and I just put my hands up. I went, I won't tell anybody. Okay? So basically, Bernie Parent was there with his grandkid just watching a hockey game for fun. And I went, got what I wanted. I was at the checkout line. He came up to me, and he said, sir, I appreciate you not bothering me. I'm just here, I'm just here in a social setting. And I appreciate you not bothering me in this situation. And he's like, let me take a picture with you. I'm like, I don't want to pry or anything. He's like, no, let's do it. And I still got that picture. Like, we forget that these guys, these stars are people too. But he was so kind to me there. And he talked with me for like 2 minutes about just how hard it is for him to go out at a Flyers game and not be bombarded with people begging him for pictures and autographs. Was a great goalie and even better human being. Absolutely. I know my man Jason Lee. Sometimes he tunes in. I know he was very close with Bernie Parent as well. An amazing person. Met Bernie Parent twice at the Flyers Alumni Carnival. Yeah, like those are great moments to meet people. But like when you bump into them in public in like a social setting, you get to see who they really are. And I bumped into a lot of celebrities in my day and athletes in my day. And some of them are assholes. Some of them don't want to be bothered. But some of them handle it right, some don't. Bernie Parent was. So it's a shame. Sad to see. Maybe the Flyers can actually go out and find a real goalie and honor him by finding a real goalie for this franchise of the Flyers here going forward. So that's my Bernie Parent thought. It's sad, but let's remember what kind of a great human being he was. Let's say the Eagles went out and won for him on Sunday. That's what we'll say, right? We'll say that the Eagles won that for Bernie. Jordan Davis what happened there? There we go. Jordan Davis completely blew the center off the line of scrimmage on the second block. It was unbelievable. There's a snapshot of the long snapper like this, and there's nobody in front of him to block. It was kind of funny. Who was the one you met that didn't fist pump you? Who didn't give me a fist pump? I forget. Lenny Dykstra told me to F off. I remember that one. The talking head stiffed me on an $800 check, didn't leave me a single dollar of a tip on that one. Who didn't fist pump me? Who left me hanging? I remember now saying that. Now I don't remember that one. Some of them are nice. Some of them are not. I worked at a hotel in college. Then we used to get a lot of bands, and we used to get a lot of visiting baseball players staying at it. So I met a lot of visiting players. Bernie is in Game 6 against the Bruins, 76 Stanley Cup Finals. One of the greatest points. Obviously, that was the year my older brother was born. I wasn't alive yet for that. But, yes, I've seen highlights, and I've read up on that many a times. Again, people just think because I don't talk Flyers hockey that I'm not a hockey person. Hockey was right there for me growing up. Hockey in the late 90s, early 2000s, I went to so many Flyers games. Hell, you know what? We should have gone right from the get-go. The overlay should have been orange in honor of Bernie all show. That's on me. I could have done that all show long. Kim Parent was my lab partner all year in Mr. Fitzgerald's 8th grade science class. That's a great story right there. Picking up a football with all that gear on is difficult sometimes. It really restricts your natural movements. I guess. But those kick returners needed to do a better job yesterday, for sure. But you know what? We got the win. A win's a win, right? That's all that matters in the end, right? We got lots to go over this week, right? Lots to continue. There will be so much more in depth. Nick Sirianni will, as always, talk to the media today. I doubt we get any information, but I hope they really drill home the question on the play calling to him and see what was done to make the changes. Only one new subscriber. I really thought today we'd pick up a few new subscribers because the viewership is going to be through the roof today's show. Bernie was a genuine. He really, really, truly was. But it's been a great show today, guys. We got a jam-packed week again this week. Lots happening. Final poll results. 33 votes. Jordan Davis got 64% of them. Fred Johnson, 9%. So that means he got a couple votes there. Jalen Hurts, 24%. A.J. Brown got 1 vote, 3%, on who was the MVP for the Eagles yesterday. I expected Jordan Davis to dominate that. But I would have thought a little bit more Fred Johnson love would have come his way. But we'll see. We'll see what the poll question is tomorrow. Anyway, guys, got to wrap this up. If you haven't if you haven't yet, share this out. If you haven't, please subscribe. Back tomorrow at 8 a.m. with much more Eagles talk. We'll dabble with the Phillies a little bit tomorrow as well. But with that being said, I got to say goodnight, goodbye. The best thing about being 3-0 is a chance to go 4-0. I love it. You can't go 4-0 unless you're 3-0 first, right? Yes, we're kicking off this week in a roaring fashion, Adam. We're going to have a big week this week. I can feel it. So with that being said, guys, everybody have a great Monday. Go Birds! And bubbles up.